Welcome to Kutch time. Today is November 2nd, 2025, and the Detroit Pistons just beat the Dallas Mavericks in Mexico City 122 to 110 to move to 4-2 on the season. The Dallas Mavericks had a very injured center rotation. Anthony Davis was out, Derek Lively was out, and Daniel Gafford was on a minutes restriction, only played around 17 and a half minutes tonight. This allowed starting center for the Pistons, Jalen Duren, to have a career night, dominating the paint, dominating lobs, and being an all-out threat the whole time. There was a lot of good tonight, especially by Jalen Duren. He had a career high 33 points, 10 rebounds. It was like an amazing 13 for 16 from field. They couldn't have an answer for him. The only time they could sort of get stops was Daniel Gafford. But when Daniel Gafford wasn't out, the Mavs center rotation was P.J. Washington, who was usually a forward, and Dwight Powell, who just isn't that good anymore. He's the longest tenured player in the Mavs, playing there for 12 years, and just shouldn't be playing starting minutes, especially consistent minutes at center with all these injuries that's going on for the Mavs. So Durden was dominant. A lot of his points, a lot of his attempts came from lobs. Cade threw a lob to him. Even Isaiah Stewart threw a lob to him in the beginning game. Anybody who had the ball could throw a lob to Jalen Duren, and it was pretty likely he was going in. And the Pistons used that the whole night. Good to show because Mavs had no answer. Cade showed a great playmaking game today. He had tied his career high with 18 assists and only had one turnover. That's insane. Cade has had a problem with turnovers so far this season. Has a problem with turnovers his career, as does most Super Bowl dominant guards. Like Harden has had problems with heavy turnovers. Luka Doncic has had problems with heavy turnovers. But a game like tonight, where you see 18 assists, you're expecting at least like four to five turnovers from him. But no, only one turnover, and that was a big part of the game. He also had 21 points, had a decent shooting night, 2 for 4 from three, while he struggled heavily from 3 point this season, and he even showed his defensive side like he did last game with 3 steals. He had 3 steals last game. Again, I'm gonna say it again. Cade, his biggest little hidden secret is he's a great defender. I mean, he wasn't to start out his career, but he's really grown to this good defender that can get steals, can get blocks, can get these rebounds, and can really guard most people and most guys he goes up against because of his size and because of just how smart he is at the game, and that's really lost a lot in some of these super guards like Jalen Green was in his class, and he was supposed to be the next big thing along with Cade, and he sucks at defense. LaMelo Ball sucks at defense. A lot of these scoring guards just can't really play defense like that. Luka Doncic really bad at defense. Jamal Murray's not good at defense. So, but Cade, he's pretty decent at defense. He has shown his stops. He has shown his ability to defend most players. Another good guy who had a night today, Duncan Robinson. He had 18. Was another good night shooting. He had a good night shooting against the Magic on Wednesday night. He was 3 for 6 from three today. Him being able to shoot the ball well, or even at like a 40% clip rate, is key to us winning. A lot of the struggles have come because we have poor shooting. We lost Malik Beasley and Tim Hardaway over the offseason, and those are guys who attempted a significant amount of the Pistons threes. Malik Beasley had a franchise record in threes made. He beat Sadiq Bey, and so you lost him. So Duncan Robinson has this big role that needs to be filled, and he's starting to show that he can. He's starting to show he can be trusted to shoot the three, and it's important because we start him as well, and we'll start him for the next month until Jaden Ivey comes back. And once Ivey comes back, the lineup might be changed up a little bit. There was some bad today. It was the ending score was 12-point win, but it was not a 12-point game. It was close. The Mavericks had the lead most of the night. Karis LeVert had another really bad night. All 3 games he played the first game. He rested 3 games. He played Wednesday against the Magic, and he played tonight. He's had really bad shot selection. He's come off the bench and he's like forcing these weird mid-range pull-ups. And he was 2 for 6 today. He had a negative plus minus, and he just really hasn't done anything offensively. You kind of expected Simon to be this like really good, not really good, a competent offensive scorer, offensive ball handler, like he was with the Hawks last year, in his career with the Cavs, with the Pacers, with the Nets. He's always been this guy who can always give you a bucket, and he's trying to give us buckets, but he's hurting the team in that process. He really needs to play Pistons ball and be a lot more he can't be as careless with these shot attempts. He's taking them way too early into the shot shot clock, and it's hurting the team when he's playing. And he's kind of been unplayable, honestly, at least for the offensive side. He doesn't really do much on defensive either. A really bad team effort from the free throw. 23 for 34 from free throws. That's abysmal. The biggest guys, Sar Thompson went 2 for 8. That's terrible. Uh, that's absolutely insane. He can go do that. That was a big struggle in the preseason was his free throws, and he you can't be a driver and be drawing all these fouls, and you can't make your free throws. You're going to be that's terrible. He has to at least make at least 5 of these. Realistic, he should be making 6, but you at least want 5. You have to be over 50%. 2 for 8 is terrible. I think he missed his first 3, and then he finally made his 4th. Then he missed some more. Like he had couple trips to line where he had 2 free throws and he missed both. I mean, that's abysmal. That's terrible, especially when Asar Thompson, who's this guy you want to see make this offensive jump. The other guy, Isaiah Stewart, 2 for 4. He wasn't good offensively. He attempted a couple threes, missed them. He had Isaiah Stewart really only had one big block. It was a giant block in Caleb Martin, and it was an amazing watch. But he wasn't really him today. From this offensive guy we've kind of seen and almost expect from he's kind of a decent shooter now. He can you kind of trust him to make shots, and he kind of today. Even Cade, he was 5 for 8. You want Cade to be six, at least 6, maybe 7. Definitely not 5 for 8. I think he started. I know he started at least 3 for 6. And again, that's really bad. You can't have your star player missing free throws, especially when you want him to be able to draw these free throws and get the good points, easy points uh, that the rest can give you. And the biggest problem today by the whole team was a lack of defensive intensity. A lot of that has to do with the game being in Mexico City. It has a super high elevation, like I think double, like a decent amount, like 2,000 feet more than where Denver, Colorado, which is the normal like highest place that uh, North American sports teams play, and it showed. I mean, for both teams, no one could really run on defense because they just didn't have the energy. They didn't have the breath to. It led to an abundance of open threes for the Mavs. The Pistons are lucky they only shot 60 for 45. The Mavs had multiple open 3 points. They missed PJ Washington and Najee Marshall in the final like 2 minutes, had 3 wide open threes, and they all missed. And those are like if the Mavericks can knock down more of these open threes, they easily win this game. The Pistons are looking at a very bad loss, but luckily for them, the Mavericks bailed them out and missed a lot of open threes. Um, I'm gonna go on a rant for the Mavericks real quick. It's insane to me as an outside fan that D'Angelo Russell is not a starting point guard for the Mavericks. They have this huge struggle of a starting ball handler. They're having Cooper Flag, they're having Max Christie, they're having PJ Washington be primary ball handlers on a starting NBA lineup. That's insane to me because D'Lo hasn't been bad, and he's not a bad point guard. He's a starter caliber point guard. Is his defense that good? No, but a lot of point guards defenses aren't that good, and he makes up for it scoring and playmaking wise. And when you need a good playmaker in the starting lineup, it doesn't make any sense why the Mavericks wouldn't do that. So I mean, D'Lo had a great night. He had 31 points. He plays starting minutes. He played almost 30 minutes tonight. He plays start a decent amount of minutes almost every game, but it's lost. Like I don't. It makes no sense why he isn't the starting point guard. He should be the starting point guard. He should be in that leading group. Like there's no sense of, especially with Kyrie Irving. He's going to be out majority of the season until maybe February if the Mavericks are lucky. So it makes no sense why Jason Kidd isn't signing this free agent point guard they signed and was projected to start. Like, it's stupid. Like, the Mavericks are struggling. They're 2-4 now. That they need a point guard in their starting lineup. Cooper Flag is not ready to be a point guard. He's not ready to be a primary ball handler, playmaking wise, on offense. Like, you shouldn't be forcing your 1-1 rookie into the situation, and he's going to fail. You are asking him to fail, and while you can learn from that, that works in a rebuilding team. The Mavericks are trying to be competitive, and they're doing this. It doesn't make any sense, especially not this season, especially not with Cooper Flag. Like, I don't think playmaking was a thing that stood out for him at Duke. I don't think that was something teams were looking at. Like, yeah, he can be a playmaker, but not your primary playmaker. Doesn't make any sense that the Mavericks are doing this. So they should be smart, try to win some games, and have D'Lo starting in the roster to get the starting group going. Like that, it's just brain dead to me that they are. And the Pistons, they're still missing. I mean, Asar has been a lot better in that primary ball handling for the secondary unit, but still they miss a true point guard like with Dennis Schroeder they had at the second half of last season. Especially now that Karis LeVert has been a poor player, a poor a teammate almost. Not I'm not saying teammate like chemistry wise, but just on the floor, his team is doing significantly worse with him on him because of his play, because of his actions, because of his shot making, and it's just bad. Uh, Ron Holland had some always shows intensity, but he's a struggling shooter. I mean, he's shown flashes, but he's a sophomore, and you don't not really expecting him to be a consistent shooter like you would a Duncan Robinson, like you would a Karis LeVert. Tobias Harris also had um, a really good night. He had a really good second quarter. A big problem with the Pistons tonight, they were down 9 in the second quarter. They go on a 20, I think it was a 22 or 21. It was 22-2 run to get a 10-point lead. In the second quarter, they end the second quarter down 1. Like, the momentum for the Mavericks should be lost at that point. To go on a 20-plus run, to lose, to go from 9-point lead to a 10-point deficit, that should be crushing for the Mavericks. But the Pistons let them get back, and a lot of it was because Jalen Duren subbed out. Like, Jalen Duren saved his team, and that's a rare thing to say a lot of the times because he's a good offense and he's shown better defense, but he can't be the guy who is like your stick in the ground holding you in place. Like, that's insane. The Pistons have to do better. The bench has to do better because you can't let up a run. You can't lose a 10-point lead in, like, I think it was like 3 minutes. It was insane. Like, the World Series Game 7 was on. I leave to go watch that because I'm like, all right, it's almost in the half. We're up double digits, and I come back and we're down. Like, what happened? What happened here? But the Pistons bench needs to be better, and the shooting for the bench needs to be better because the shooting to start the game was terrible. But near the end, Duncan Robinson made some more, Cade made some more, Javante Green made some more, um, and they just have to be better defensively, offensively. They're too streaky, they're too momentum based. If they're hot, they're hot. If they're down, they're unplayable. They're letting up 10-0 runs, they're letting the other team do whatever they want to them. Next game is Monday versus the Grizzlies. I will not have a full recap video that day. I have to go to the Michigan State versus Colgate home opener. But I will have a Substack preview up either tomorrow night or Monday morning. And there's possibility I will be able to make shorts content. I just won't have the time to do a full video. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my Substack. Please subscribe to this channel to keep watching this content. And hopefully the Pistons can win on Monday night against the Grizzlies. Thanks.